All right, what's happening? Happy Wednesday afternoon. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are going to play what should be a beatdown today as the University of New Mexico visits Texas to take on the Longhorns and continue testing of Glory Days college football. And we are going to start this off. Both teams, let's do a quick analysis. Texas with the talent factor of 2. They're going to have a +5 advantage on their offensive drives, and New Mexico will have a -3 advantage on their offensive drives. The key matchup here, though, comes down to New Mexico's very poor pass defense, which with the talent factor adjustment will go from a 3 to a 1 against the powerful Texas passing game, which will have a +7 advantage in terms of driving the ball in play-by-play mode. So this should be a comfortable Texas win as we continue our testing. Let's see if they can live up to the expectation, as New Mexico will call the kick, and 4 is their call, 5, so even call and odd result. Texas wins the toss. They are going to defer. So our kickoff is going to be a touchback, a roll of 2, and Texas is an A on kickoff. So New Mexico starts their first drive of the game. And this game will have 11 drives total, 5 in the first half and 6 total in the second half. So I'm using the Excel score sheet. So I'm just setting that up real quick and we'll get going. All right, so New Mexico starting from their own 25, and again, their drive rating is going to be a -3, which means to have a sustained drive, New Mexico is going to have to have a roll on the drive chart of 41 or better. So here we go. And 13, their first drive is going to be a punt. So a roll of 3, it's going to be a 4-play, 26-yard drive before the offense is stopped. So New Mexico able to flip the field position here. So going from their 25 to the 49 of Texas, and punt team's going to come on. And we will see Texas for the first time in this game. All right, New Mexico special teams, their punting is a C. So a roll of 6C is going to be a 41-yard punt down to the 8-yard line, and Texas on the return, 8. Texas's punt return is a D, so not very stellar there. D is going to be no return, so ball dead on the 8-yard line, and the Longhorns will start their first drive of the game there. As the Longhorns, led by their stellar tailback, a +2 on the 0 adjustment column. Bijan Robinson actually played high school football here in Arizona at Sal Point. And, of course, Jake Ellinger is pulling the trigger for the offense. So here we go. Texas with a +5. They have to have a roll of 21 or better to have a sustained drive, and 23. They just barely do, actually. Roll of 3 on the drive chart, 5 plays, 41 yards. So that's going to be up to the 49-yard line. And our down and distance situation, and again, New Mexico with a drive defensive rating of 6. And the 2D6 is a roll of 5. So our down and distance situation is going to be 2nd down and 8 from there as Texas jumps into play-by-play mode. Should be a beatdown. And what's up, Robert? Thanks for joining, buddy. I still need to see what your next baseball project is going to be. Feel free to leave that in the chat as a spoiler if you like. All right, Texas coming out, and they are going to run the ball on 2nd down and 8. And again, with their stellar tailback, Bijan Robinson, roll of 12, that's going to be a +3, 0, and that's going to be a big play 2. So right off the bat, Robinson Big play 2 on the run, roll of 8, and that is going to be a 66-yard gain. That's going to be a 51-yard touchdown run. First play of play-by-play mode for the Longhorns and Texas. Just like that, it starts the beatdown train rolling as they score a touchdown. And in for the extra point. So New Mexico, a huge hole at the line of scrimmage, and Bijan Robinson breaks through and goes to the house. Extra point is up and good, and Texas jumps out to a 7-0 drive here in the first quarter after a single possession. Actually, I've got this ready to go. I'm going to pull in 3 more testers. So I'll be getting this out to you by the end of the week, my friend, you and 2 others. So yeah, looking forward to your feedback and testing on this. I think we are pretty close with the engine overall as we get ready for the kickoff here. So really the things I'm looking at now from the drive chart are turnovers that come off the drive chart versus play-by-play mode. And then I want to make sure the defense is not overpowered. So those are the 2 points of contention right now, or I guess points we need to try and break. But apart from that, things are progressing fairly well and look good at this point. So I think we're ready to expand testing for sure. All right, so 5 on the kickoff. That's going to be another touchback for the Longhorns. New Mexico starts their second drive of the day from their own 25-yard line. And again, New Mexico going into -3. They need 41 or better, and 97 actually. Sorry, 97. And New Mexico, that's going to be a possible INT. So New Mexico's interception rate is 1 to 12, and unless Texas is terrible, they have a 0 adjustment. So that is going to be most likely 6 is going to be an interception, 5 on the turnover roll, and it's going to be 3 plays, 24 yards before the pick. So that's going to be picked off by Texas at the New Mexico 49-yard line, and we will roll our interception return now for the Longhorns. And 4-0, that's going to be a 15-yard return down to the 34-yard line, and Texas jumps right into play-by-play mode from there. 1st and 10, and New Mexico off to the start they could least afford, as Texas now in position to go on another quick scoring drive, as Matt, Steeler fan 1933, and Al Red Sox fan have joined us in the chat here. Longhorns already up 7-0 and looking to capitalize on their second drive. It's going to be another run play. And again, great roll for the Longhorns, roll of 15, and that's going to be a +3, +3-5 for Texas is going to be an 8-yard gain. And that'll get it down to the 26-yard line, 2nd down and 2 from there. All right, Texas up to the line of scrimmage, and 1 going to be another run play. 31 this time, not quite as favorable for Texas, but that's still a +2. +2 roll of 1, that's going to be another 7 yards. So Texas gashing the New Mexico defense early here on the ground. And that might be all they need to do to be successful here. So 7-yard gain there, and 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Longhorns up to the line of scrimmage. 9, and Ellinger's going to take a shot, 26. And 26 is going to be a +2 on the long pass. Roll of 8, that's going to be a 15-yard gain, and all the way down to the 4-yard line, yet another 1st down for the Longhorns. So Texas cutting through the porous New Mexico defense like butter early in this one. Going to be another run play from there. 36 for Texas is going to be a +1, roll of 7. Or I'm sorry, +1, roll of 2. I keep rolling that dice. +1, roll of 2, going to be a 5-yard gain, which will be a touchdown, 4-yard touchdown run. And ball carrier on that for the Longhorns is Ingram. So Texas, 2 drives, 2 scores, and looks like it is going to be a long day for New Mexico. Second touchdown in as many drives for Texas. Extra point is up and good, and they are up 14-0 here in the first quarter. And this will be our final drive of the first quarter for New Mexico as Texas set to kick it off. And our good friend T-Dub, check out that wonderful channel. Hey, T-Dub actually wore your What's Blazing in Sports t-shirt out the other day and got a compliment on that. So outstanding on that as Texas kicks off to the 5. Hey, what'd you think about the, I guess I can loosely call it a fight, Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley fight Sunday? Would be interested to hear your comments on that. As New Mexico, and I actually did not roll the return. So New Mexico kick return of C, roll of 3, and that's going to be a 24-yard return. So New Mexico starts at the 29-yard line for their final possession of the first quarter. All right, let's see if the Lobos can sustain a drive here as the first quarter coming to a close. And again, at a -3 on the drive chart, they need 41 and 44. New Mexico, that was a 6. They're actually going to have a sustained drive here. So the Lobos seeing if they can get back into the game. That's going to be a 5-play, 40-yard drive for the Lobos. And that's going to take it all the way down to the Longhorn 31. Down and distance situation there. Roll of 7 is going to be 1st and 10. So let's see if New Mexico can do something with this. Now, I expected not much either. I did think Woodley would be a little bit busier, but one thing it did, I mean, Jake Paul does have some skill for sure, but like you said, neither one is boxers. And it did expose one thing, and that's when he has a competent striker, which Woodley, again, not a boxer, but for an MMA guy, he is a decent striker with very good power. When he does have a competent boxer in his face, he is not going to stand in the pocket and throw punches. So if he does fight Tommy Fury next, I look for him to finally get put to sleep and hopefully an end to this boxing charade, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was an okay fight to watch. All right, so New Mexico, 1st and 10, and 1st and 10, 7 is going to be a short pass, roll of 41. And 41 on the pass, again, New Mexico, that's going to be a -1 coming off of the Texas defense card. And I'll just show you the first time so you get an idea. And they're actually going to give up a 9-yard completion to the Lobos. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 1 from New Mexico down to the 22-yard line. New Mexico up to the line of scrimmage, and 0 is going to be a run play, a 41 on the 2D6. And 41 on the 2D6, New Mexico actually has a decent run game. That's going to be a 0. Ball carrier on that's going to be Cole. He gets a additional yard added. Result is, so 0-6 is 4. Give him 5 down to the 17-yard line. Going to be 1st and 10. In New Mexico, looking to get into the end zone here late in the first quarter. Again, going to be a run play, 66, and a defensive penalty is going to bail them out, as that's going to be a 6 off of Texas's card, which would be a 2-yard gain. And 5 on the defensive penalty is going to be an offside. So New Mexico now 1st down and 5 from the 12-yard line, and they are threatening to score here. Yeah, Jake, he did. He went backwards and definitely didn't fight the way he had in his earlier fights. Went backwards, clinched, bigger guy, yeah, everything like that. All right, hey, Al, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Have a safe trip home. I think I don't think he'll retire. I think he, one, is going to continue chasing the clout. And let's be honest, he's getting paid. And I'll give him props for 2 things, D-Dub. Obviously, he's turned his internet fame into a way to make money. You know what? You're making money, whatever. If people are going to pay for it, I watched it for free, so I didn't pay him. But the other thing is, one thing he did that I liked is he actually trickled some of his purse down to the undercard fighters, which was especially, I I think, a very good gesture for the female fighters. And one thing he has done is speak up against pay inequality, particularly in UFC and with some of the promoters in boxing for fighters. So if anything positive comes out of his foray, that is one thing. And I do give him props for, again, deferring some of his purse so that the fighters on the undercard got more money. That is a very classy thing to do, actually. All right, so here we go. 1st and 5, New Mexico. 2 is going to be a run play, 24. And 24 for the Lobos is going to be a +1. They do actually have a decent run game. Roll of 4 is going to be a 6-yard gain. It's going to be another 1st down and 1st and goal now at the 6. So New Mexico stringing a drive together now. Let's see if they can punch it in. 1st down, and as expected, they call a run play. 26 is going to be a +1 result again for the Lobos, and roll of 3 is going to be a 4-yard gain. So down to the 2, 2nd down and goal to go from the 2. Bringing his squad up to the line of scrimmage, the New Mexico quarterback, Paul, and being smart, sticking to the ground on this. 46 for the Lobos is going to be a -1 coming off of the Texas card. And roll of 2, -1. That's going to be a 2-yard gain, but that's going to be enough for a touchdown. So New Mexico, Lobos able to sustain a drive and working primarily on the ground have gotten on the scoreboard here, surprisingly enough. Extra point is up and good. And 1st quarter comes to a close with the Longhorns up over the Lobos 14-7. And Texas set to start the 2nd quarter with a kickoff receipt. They will have 3 drives in this quarter, New Mexico 2. Here comes the kickoff. And 60 on the kickoff. That's going to go down to the 5-yard line. And Texas on kickoff return is an A. So 8A is going to be a 24-yard return. Longhorns start this drive on their own 29-yard line. And again, +5 on the drive chart, 21 or better for a sustained drive. Hey, Robert, thanks for stopping by, buddy. You got a baseball game going on today. Let us know in the chat. We'll check that out. 72 for Texas on +5 is going to be a indeed. So from the 29-yard line, roll of 10. And that's going to be a 5-play, 36-yard drive for the Longhorns as we jump into play-by-play mode. So starting from the New Mexico 35-yard line and roll of 9 on the down and distance chart. New Mexico again with a drive defense of 6. And they're going to be 2nd down and 4 from the Longhorns there. So very manageable 2nd down situation. Yeah, no, he did do that, T-Dub. And that, again, you know, I don't like what the guy is doing necessarily in boxing, but I will definitely give respect to that. That was a very, again, classy move to do. So 22 for Texas here. It's going to be a run play. Doubles. There's no penalty on the roll of 11. So 22 for the Longhorns. That's going to be a +3. And again, the Texas run game. And ball carrier on this is going to be Jake Ellinger as he pulls on the read option. It's going to be a 6-yard gain for Jake. 1st and 10 now from the New Mexico 29. And the key to New Mexico staying in this game is not if they can score, but if they can ever stop Texas, which it does not appear to be the case at this point. Another run play, 34 for the Longhorns. And that's going to be a +2 roll of 2, 6-yard gain, 2nd down and 4 as that gets it down to the 23-yard line. All right, 2nd and 4. Texas up to the line of scrimmage, is sticking on the ground, which is a smart thing to do since New Mexico has been unable to stop them. This is a +1. And that's actually only going to be a 2-yard gain. So we're going to have a 3rd down and 2 situation here for Texas. New Mexico is stacking the box, anticipating the run. 62 is a bad roll for the Longhorns. That's going to be a -1 off of New Mexico's card. But again, New Mexico, not a stellar defense. So roll of 5 on the -1 chart. And that's actually a bad result for them. That's going to be an 8-yard gain. So down to the 13-yard line, 1st and 10. As Texas once again knocking on the door. And Longhorns in play-by-play mode alone already have 99 yards on the ground racked up. And they're going to stick right there on the ground. 53 is going to be a 0 result, roll of 9. And 2-yard gain down to the 11-yard line. And that's going to make it 2nd down and 8. Ellinger brings team up to the line of scrimmage and sticking on the ground still. 65, though. New Mexico's defense now stepping up just a little bit. -2 result coming off of New Mexico's defensive card, and that's going to be a 1-yard gain. So Texas, 3rd and 7 now from the 10-yard line. And 3rd and 7 situation, a roll above 0 will be a pass roll. New Mexico gets that bonus if it's a long pass. And roll of 6, that's going to be a long pass indeed. New Mexico, 53. 53 for Texas is normally a 0 result. It's going to be a -1 off New Mexico's card. -1, roll of 2, but a potential sack. So that will be a touchdown pass if Ellinger escapes a sack, and their sack rate is 1 to 6. New Mexico's rush rate is -3, so it has to be 3 or less. And Ellinger gets out of the grasp of the defenders, fires a strike. That's going to be a 10-yard touchdown pass, and the recipient of that is Eagles. So Texas, their 3rd straight touchdown drive. And that one a 10-yarder. All right, pending extra point, and Texas looks to go up, and they are up 21-7 now here early in the 2nd quarter. And New Mexico now set to receive the ensuing kickoff. And Texas again, that's going to be a touchback. So New Mexico starts their first drive of the 2nd quarter on the 25-yard line. Let's see if they can get another sustained drive. And again, they have to get a roll of 41 or better. And not this time. It's going to be a punt situation and a 3 and out. 3 plays, 2 yards. So Texas, not wanting to give them any hope of staying in this ball game, rises up and shuts them down quickly. New Mexico's punt team in, and punting New Mexico is a C. And roll of 0. The return is going to come off the big play chart. So punting 0C. That's going to be a booming 50-yard punt. So 77 yards all the way down to the 23-yard line for Texas. And the return, 9, comes off the Texas team card as a potential big play. So punt returns, they've actually got a disastrous -17-yard punt return on there. Longest is a 21, and roll of 1. That's going to be a 12-yard punt return. So that's going to get it up to the 35, and Texas, their 2nd drive of the 2nd quarter from there. Each team after this drive will have one more drive left in the first half. And again, guys, if you are enjoying so far the development of Glory Days College Football, please smack that like button for me. Again, looking to expand testing on this game very soon. As 4 is going to be a run play, 52 for the Longhorns, and that's going to be a 0 result. Ball carrier on that is 17 Ingram, so no adjustment to the 0 result. It's going to be a 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6. I'm sorry, that was our, I'm screwing up. That was our sustained drive portion. My bad, 17. So 17, the roll of 48 is a sustained drive. So 17 from that area of the field is going to be a 5-play, 34-yard drive. Sorry about the mix-up on that. So that's going to get it down to the 41-yard or 31-yard line of New Mexico. It'll be 1st and 10 based on the 2-6 roll. Now we're into play-by-play mode as Texas looking at a potential successful scoring drive. 24 is going to be a +2. And +2, once again, a run call, roll of 5. And that's going to be a 7-yard gain, but we have a fumble possibility here. Ball carrier on that is Thompson, and Texas's fumble rating, they are 1-7, and New Mexico is a -1, so 1-6. And that ball is out, and the Lobos take over a big play. They're going to take over at their own 23-yard line now. So 7 yards and a fumble for the Longhorns, and that squashes that drive. And turnovers is definitely how you allow a team to stay in a game if they are upset-minded. So Texas up 21-7, first time they've been stopped, and they did it to themselves. New Mexico trying to sustain, and 70 is going to be a sustained drive from the 23-year-old of 12, and that's 8 plays, 50 yards. So the Lobos looking to take advantage of their last drive of the first quarter, or first half, I should say. And that's going to be all the way down to the Texas 27, where they'll jump into play-by-play mode and a roll of 5 against that drive defense of 10. That's going to make it a 3rd down and 6 for New Mexico there. So a crucial situation here for the Lobos early. See if they can pull this one out. 3rd and 6. Texas expecting to pass, and 3rd and 6, it's going to be a short pass. No adjustment there. And roll of 12, favorable for New Mexico. That's going to be a +3 roll of 7 on the short pass. It's going to be a 6-yard gain, but we have a potential sack. 13 is our sack roll. All right, so 13, New Mexico getting sacked is a 1-9, and Texas has an adjustment of -3. So they're going to avoid the sack, and that's going to be a 6-yard gain. All the way down to the 21, and it's going to be a close measurement. So we're going to bring in, again, on 3rd down, when you get the exact distance, it's a measurement. So that goes against Texas's drive defense. 10 or less, they're inches short. 11 or more, they make it. And New Mexico gets the 1st down, 1st and 10 for the Lobos, and they actually have a chance to pull within 7 points here when it looked like they were going to get completely run out of the stadium. So 1st and 10 from the 21 and 6 for the Lobos. That's going to be a run play as they are sticking to the ground. 23 for New Mexico is going to be a +2 result there for Lobos, and +2 run is going to be a 2-yard gain. So not as good as that could have been. All right, 2nd down and 8 now for New Mexico. So that call brings them up to the line of scrimmage. And play call on 2nd down is going to be a long pass attempt, and 23, New Mexico, not very stellar throwing the ball, though they do get a +1 on that. +1 roll of 9, and that's actually going to be a big play. So the Lobos, unbelievable. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a long pass. Yeah, big play possibility there. So big play 1, and they actually could cut it within a touchdown. Roll of 5, that's a 20-yard strike, and that's going to be a touchdown, New Mexico. Unbelievable. They are back in this game and possibly upset-minded here. Texas, of course, has one more drive here in the first half, but that cuts the score to 21-13 pending extra point, and 21-14. So New Mexico showing some resiliency in this game, taking advantage of a Longhorn turnover, and Texas getting sloppy. They'll go back for the kickoff now, and they'll try and end the second half on a positive note. Longhorns do get the second half kickoff, so that bodes well for them as New Mexico kicks it away. And 4D is going to be down to the goal line. Texas looking to return this a return rating of A, and 5A is going to be a 26-yard return. This starts their final drive of the first half on their own 26-yard line. Let's again see if they can get a sustained drive, and wow, I'll keep rolling this and shouldn't. So 0-6, and Texas is going to be shut down. Their first punt of the ball game, and 7 from the 26-yard line on the drive chart is 5 plays, 38 yards, and it's going to be a punt. So we will actually play the punt. As Texas jumped up big early and kind of took their foot off the gas, I guess. And New Mexico now has fought their way back into this game. 58-64. So that's actually going to be down to the 36-yard line. Field goal wise for here, Texas, their max without adjustments is a 53-yarder. This will be a 53-yarder exactly. So 0-49. They're going to take a shot at a late field goal here. And kick is up and just over the crossbar. So Texas managed to salvage a little bit out of that as we go into halftime with that field goal. Texas leads it 24-14, and they'll get the second half kickoff from the Lobos. We'll jump right back into the action. So thus far through the first half, we'll give a quick overview of stats. Pretty much all Texas in terms of controlling the clock and total yardage. Texas, 282 total yards in the first half, and New Mexico, 177. New Mexico, 27 plays, Texas, 34. So Texas set to receive the second half kickoff and kicked away. Kickoff is going to be down at the 10-yard line, and Texas, again, a kickoff return is going to be only 17, though, so that's up to the 27-yard line. Texas takes over there, first possession of the second half, and looking to sustain a drive after being forced to punt for the first time earlier in the or forced to kick, I should say. All right, 74 plus 5 for Texas on the drive chart. Roll of 74 is going to be just missed a big play. It will be a sustained drive, however, and roll of 7. It's going to be 5 plays, 38 yards again. So down to the New Mexico 35-yard line and roll of 9 on the down and distance situation against a 6 defense. Going to be second down and 4, so manageable situation for Texas. See if they can get the ship righted here. A run play, 43 for the Longhorns. And that's going to be a +1. Ball carrier on that's going to be Ellinger. And +1, roll of 1 is going to be a 4-yard gain down to the 31-yard line. So that's 1st and 10. That's Texas, their first drive of the second half. It's going to be another run play, 46. And that's also going to be a +1, roll of 0. And that's going to be a 6-yard gain. And once again, Ellinger pulling the ball on the read option down to the 25-yard line, makes it a 2nd and 4. Longhorns up the line of scrimmage. New Mexico desperately trying to get a stop. It's going to be another run play. 23 is going to be a +2-2, and that's going to be a 7-yard gain. And again, Ellinger, 3 straight times he has run the ball, but that gives the Longhorns a 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line. And looks again like New Mexico has no hope to stop, causing a turnover. Finally, we get a play action pass on 1st down. 51 for the Longhorns, and that's going to be a roll of 0. So 8-0 on the short pass, and that's going to be a 4-yard gain, possible sack, however. The pass is intended for Whittingham, and again, our sack rating, Texas is a 1-6, New Mexico a -3, so it's got to be 1-3. And again, Ellinger able to wiggle his way out of trouble, get the ball away, and that's going to be a 4-yard gain. So down to the 14-yard line, 2nd down and 6 for the Longhorns. So thus far, we are still looking for our first really explosive play. Texas has been very, well, we've had one explosive play, I should say, sorry, by the Lobos. Texas yet to get any, but they've been very grueling in their drive. It's going to be another run call. 21, that's going to be a +3, and +3 roll of 9. And just as I say that, bam, a big play. And from the 14-yard line, pretty much anything Texas rolls here except for a 2 or a set, well, 2, 7, or 4, will get them into the end zone. And there you go, 2 13-yard gain, so an explosive play down to the 1 where it will be 1st and goal. So Texas in play-by-play mode now with 138 yards rushing, not counting the simulated drives. And they're going to try a play-action pass, unbelievably, from the 1-yard line. So 45, that is going to be a 0 roll of 3 on the long pass. And that's going to be incomplete. So I'm not sure what the thinking is there so successfully, but that brings up a 2nd and 1. IDJ has joined us, and now Red Sox fan back in the stadium. IDJ, the only reason I came was because I thought by the title of this video, Ohio State was beating the crap out of Clemson again. We can do that later, IDJ. Did not know you were a Buckeye fan. As once again, a play action pass from the 1-yard line. Why not just give it to your big dog and let him eat? And Texas, some questionable play calling. That's going to be a -1. So that comes off of New Mexico's defense card, and a roll of 2. A completion for a touchdown, barring a sack. And again, it's got to be 3 or less. And Ellinger just gets out of the grass, fires a 1-yard touchdown pass. And receiving of that is going to be Schooler. So they made it harder than it needed to be, but they get in the end zone still, as the Longhorns now in to kick the extra point. It is up, and it is good. And Texas, on their first drive of the second half, extends their lead now to 31-14. And New Mexico is not going to win a shootout with Texas, so they need to get a stop or a turnover and be able to sustain a drive. Double threes, no penalty on this, so it's going to be a successful kickoff by Texas. And a 9, that's down to the 5-yard line. And a 9 on the return. This will go to Mexico's big play chart. So they do have a 48-yarder on there under a 3, and a 9 is going to be pretty good in itself, a 35-yard kickoff return. So that gets it up to the 40, where New Mexico jumps into their first simulated drive of the second half. That's the best field position the Lobos have had in this entire game thus far. All right, New Mexico unable to take advantage, though. That's going to be 5 plays, 22 yards in a kicking situation. So from the 38, 38 and a 12 on the roll, the down and distance situation for New Mexico, if they elect to go for it, is going to be 4th down and 2. So this is kind of no man's land, 4th and 2, and we're going to make an executive decision, and New Mexico is going to go for this on 4th down. Here we go. So down 17 points, New Mexico looking to get a 4th down conversion, 4th and 2, and it's going to be a run play, meaning Texas will be prepared in this situation and get a boost to their defensive rating. 46 is going to be a -1. The boost makes it a -2 coming off of the Texas card. Roll of 2, -2, and that's going to be a 3-yard gain, but a possible fumble. So that's good enough for the 1st down. Now New Mexico's fumble rating, the ball carrier on this is going to be Cole. New Mexico's fumble rating is once we take care of the ball fairly well. Texas is a +1, so 5 or less, and 6. Ball is on the ground, but New Mexico recovers, and it's 1st and 10, so a 4th down conversion from the Lobos, and they're able to keep the drive going, much to the chagrin of the hometown Texas fans. 61 on the roll there, and we're going to -3 on Texas's card, and a 1 is not good. Actually, that's the best result they could get there. You see 3 stuffs. It's going to be a 4-yard gain, so things going the Lobos' favor in this particular drive. Brings up 2nd down and 6. All right, once again, a run call, and 53 is going to be a -2. -2 roll of 5, and that's going to be a 2-yard gain. So Lobos are going to have a 3rd and 4 situation from the Texas 29-yard line. Hall brings his team up to the line of scrimmage and 2 on 3rd and 4. They're going to try and run for it. 33 potential penalty, 16 is no penalty, so an 8. Roll 8 and roll of 8 from the 0 column. Ball carrier for Lobos is Carroll, no adjustment. So roll of 8 from the 0 column, and that is going to be a 2-yard gain. And once again, it's going to be another 4th and 2 situation from the 27. And does New Mexico want to go for it again and push their luck? Field goal wise from the 27, this would be a 44-yard field goal attempt. In New Mexico from 44 yards would be 0 to 56. And you know what? They are going to go for it. Try for their second 4th down conversion of this drive. Cole up to the line of scrimmage. And of course, it's a run call, but a favorable roll for the Lobos. 14. That would be normally a +3. It's going to be a +2 with the adjustment from Texas. +2, 7, 5-yard gain, and another potential fumble. So that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Fumble, again, 5 or less. Texas going to take over 15, and New Mexico dodges another bullet. So the Lobos not going away, putting up a game effort against the Big 12 foe. 1st down, and 1st down is going to be a short pass attempt for New Mexico. And 54 is going to take us to the -2 column on the Texas defensive card, roll of 3. And that's going to be an incomplete pass for the Lobos. So 2nd down and 10. And again, there, you probably want to stay on the ground. That's what New Mexico does best. They're actually not bad on the ground. They're going to try a long pass now, though. 41 on the long pass call is going to be a -1. So again, it comes off of Texas's card, roll of 1. And that's going to be an incomplete pass, possible sack. So New Mexico's sack rating is a 1 to 9. Texas, they are a -3. They're not very good. So 6 or less, and 8 getting out of trouble and throwing the ball away is Cole. But that brings up a 3rd and 10 situation for New Mexico. And 3rd and 10, they're going to probably have to throw here. Texas expecting a pass. Has their nickel defense in. And 3rd and 10, New Mexico decides to try and go underneath with a short pass. 63, though, that's going to be a -3 coming off of the Texas card. And roll of 8 on the short pass. That's going to be an incomplete and a possible sack again. So once again, 1 to 6, and it's a sack. 12, nope, an incomplete pass. So 3 straight incompletions by Cole and the Lobos, and New Mexico is now going to have to try and settle for a field goal. So this will be a 39-yard attempt, and New Mexico from this distance, 0 to 66. Kick is down, and it is missed. Kicked it off to the right, so a missed field goal. New Mexico, after converting 2 4th down conversions, unable to get any points out of this, so that was all for naught. And Texas now, their second drive of the second half, they're going to take over from their own 22-yard line. So New Mexico gamely hanging around, but Texas looking to put the dagger in this now, 22, and that's barely going to be a successful drive. And again, Texas with a +5 on their drive chart needs 21 or better. So from the 22-yard line, a roll of 5, and that's going to be a 7-play, 51-yard drive for the Longhorns. Down to the New Mexico 27, you're down in distance situation, roll of 11, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 2 from there. So Texas now needs a 3rd down conversion to keep this drive going. All right, New Mexico expecting to run Texas, and Texas is going to curveball them here. It's going to be a play-action pass. Roll of 15 is going to be a very favorable roll for the Longhorns. So play-action long pass looking for the dagger. 15 is going to be a +3. And +3 roll of 2 on the long pass, and just over the fingertips of the receiver. That brings up a 4th down for the Longhorns now. As that shot down the field goes awry. So 4th and 2, this will be a 45-yard field goal for the Longhorns, and Longhorns 0 to 56. They're going to go for it themselves now. So 4th down. Mexico loading up the box. Texas has a run play called 53. So they get that adjustment to their roll. It's going to be a -1. And New Mexico is going to come up with a stuff. Roll of 9 on -1. And 8 is going to be no gain. And Texas stopped on downs. So an impressive effort by the New Mexico defense. They have their last drive of the third quarter now. Texas will have one after this. So both teams now, last two drives deep into their opponent's territory and stuffed. New Mexico, let's see if they can get a successful drive. No. 0-8 is going to be anything but a successful drive. So that's going to be roll of 14. A 5-play 15-yard drive is all for the Lobos, and they're going to have to punt again. So that gets it up to the 42-yard line, and punt team comes on. This will be Texas's final drive of the third quarter. New Mexico is a C punting, and 6C is going to be 41-yard kick. It's going to be fielded down at the 17-yard line by the Longhorns, and Texas, a punt return of D. 3D is going to be a fair catch there, so that's where the Longhorns take over. Final drive of the third quarter, Texas up 31-14. And let's see if they can have a long sustained drive from inside their own 20. 21 or more is a sustained drive, and 76 plus 5, 76 is going to be a big play run. So Texas finally getting an explosive play here. So big play run 2 chart. Texas has a touchdown on 0, a 66 on 8, and a couple of 40-plus gains. So here we go. Big play 9, and 9 is going to be a 36-yard scamper. So that's going to be down all the way to the New Mexico 47-yard line, where it's going to be a first down. And Texas putting up a big yardage on the ground. That run, this is just counting big plays and play-by-play modes. They're already at 174 yards. So when the simulated drive stats are figured in, Texas is going to be comfortably over 200 yards. First and 10 now, the Longhorns, it's going to be a run play. And 26 on the run is going to be a +2. +2 roll of 7, 6-yard gain, second down and 4 as the ball goes down to the 41-yard line, and ball carrier on that is Bijan Robinson. Ellinger brings the Longhorns up to the line of scrimmage. Second down, it's going to be another run play, 46, and 46 is going to be a +1, and 2 is a 5-yard gain. So first down to the 36-yard line of the Lobos. Texas methodical, grinding New Mexico down, and they're sticking on the ground, and this is going to be a +3. Big play 2, and Texas is going to pop one here. The ball carrier on this is going to be Ellinger again on the read option, keeping the ball, and 3 on the big play 2 run chart, 24-yard gain all the way down to the 12-yard line. First and 10 for the Lobos, as that's the second explosive play of this drive, or for the Longhorns, sorry. Texas now is cutting through that run defense like butter, and New Mexico dog-tired. 53, it's going to be yet another run play. Roll of 0 on this, and 20. Thompson's a -1 yard to whatever the result is, though, so that's going to be a only 4-yard gain down to the 8. Second down and 6. And now Red Sox fan has arrived safely home. Have a good night, my friend. And again, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you, brother. Texas second and 6, and sticking on the ground, 45 for the Longhorns, and that's going to be another +1 result. +1 roll of 8, and that's a 7-yard gain. So that's going to be a first and goal now at the 1-yard line for Texas. And New Mexico has had no answers at all for this Texas run game. Now well over 200 yards just in play-by-play mode. So what does Texas do from the 1? They try another play-action pass again. What the heck is going on here? 35. 35 is going to be a +1 roll of 9. on the short pass. That's going to be a big play. So that will be a touchdown, and that's a touchdown to Eagles, his second reception, and third touchdown pass by Ellinger. Second of the 1 yard variety. So Texas now closes out the third quarter with yet another touchdown. They outscore New Mexico 14-0 in this period. Extra point. Oh, 98, and that is missed. Clanked off the upright. So as we head into the fourth and final quarter, Texas set the kickoff, leading the Lobos 37-14. And Texas with that great kickoff, or actually they don't have a great kickoff game. D, a roll of 5. It's going to be down to the goal line in New Mexico. I'm sorry, Texas an A kickoff. A roll of 5 is actually a touchback. So New Mexico starts their first drive of the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, this is actually the final drive of the third quarter for the Lobos. Each team gets 3 drives in the second half, or in each quarter in the second half. So New Mexico from the 25-yard line, and this will be the last drive of the third quarter. 78, and actually New Mexico now a -3 on their drive chart. 78 is going to be a sustained drive again, so 4 on the drive chart. 6 plays, 39 yards for the Lobos. And that's going to be all the way down to the 36-yard line. Roll of 3, though, is not a distance roll for the Lobos. As a 10 defense, roll of 3 makes it a 3rd and 10. So New Mexico in play-by-play situation, 3rd and 10, obvious passing down 6, and that's going to be a long pass. Texas is waiting for that, so they're going to get the adjustment. 36, normally a -1, becomes a -2 off the Texas card. And -2, 7, incomplete, possible sack. Again, 6 or less on the sack. And getting out of the grasp of the defender is Hall, but that's his 4th straight incompletion in play-by-play mode. And New Mexico now, from 36, this would be a 53-yard field goal. New Mexico's max is 49, so they can't even try this. They're going to have to go for it. Punting does them no good. They're down 37-14, 4th and 10. Gambling, and 4th and 10, roll of 4. It's going to be a short pass, but 62 is not a favorable roll, as that's going to be a -3. So once again, going to Texas's card on the short pass, that's incomplete, and the Longhorns are going to take over on downs. So New Mexico, their bid for an upset is quickly disintegrating into ashes as Texas takes over at their own 36-yard line. As we enter the fourth quarter, 37-14, Longhorns up, and Longhorns looking to sustain another drive, and New Mexico is bushed. We're going to get a big play pass on this result on this drive. So big play 2 chart under pass, and Texas has a touchdown there, 2 touchdowns there on 0 and 9. And a ton of other tasty stuff in between. It's going to be a 59-yard strike from Ellinger, and that goes to Moore. 89, 95, all the way down to the 5-yard line for the Lobos. Wow. So big play pass for Texas, and that's the second drive they've had a success or an explosive play on the drive chart. And that's the other thing. Big plays definitely are, the explosive plays are definitely coming up a lot more now, and we have a good balance of those. So 1st and goal from the 5 for the Longhorns, and this would just insult the injury. Run play 51, and 51 is going to be a 0. Ball carrier on that is going to be Johnson. No adjustment. The result on the 0 chart. It's going to be a 5-yard gain. Touchdown, and Longhorns. First play after the big pass. And they extend their lead. Extra point pending, and extra point is up and good. So early here in the fourth quarter, Texas has extended its lead over New Mexico to 44-14. And this is the blowout one would expect, and I'm glad we're getting it. As again, we continue to do final testing on this last alpha engine before we move into beta for Glory Days College Football. So 25-yard line, Texas now kicks it away. That's going to be a touchback. New Mexico, once again, will start on their own 25-yard line, and their first drive of the fourth quarter. Both teams will have 2 drives left after this, but this is a moot point. Game is pretty much done for the Lobos. 46 and 46, a -3, and that's actually going to be a sustained drive, though. Roll of 1, that's 5 plays, 52 yards, and that's going to be a first down. So Texas, it's down to the 23-yard line, and Texas now apparently has their reserves in as New Mexico. Moving the ball a little better here in the second half, and it's going to be an automatic 1st and 10 based on the down and distance chart, or the drive chart has a plus rating. So 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line, New Mexico sticking to the ground, 61. That's going to be bad. A -3 result, -3.5. That's a stuff on the Texas defensive chart right there. So New Mexico getting stuffed, roll of 7. That's going to be a -1 yard. Texas with 555 yards of total offense right now, by the way. New Mexico 320. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 11 from the Texas 24-yard line. And short pass attempt for the Lobos, 54, is going to be a -2. So -2 roll of 4, and that's actually going to be a successful 7-yard completion. Bring down in 4 from the 17. One of the few good results Texas has there, and that's the first play-by-play completion. He was 0 for his last 5, meaning Hall, the New Mexico quarterback. So 3rd and 4, playbook is open here, 3rd and 4, and they're going to try and actually run for it. 13, and they catch Texas off guard a little bit here. That's going to be a +3 for the Lobos. +3, 5-yard gain, and that's going to be a first down. So 1st and 10. Down to the 12-yard line, New Mexico looking to make this respectable. The game is, of course, out of hand, but trailing by 30 points and looking to cut it to 23 here, first down, and it's going to be a run play, 34. And that's going to be a 0 result for the Lobos, roll of 8, and that's a 2-yard gain. The ball carrier, 16, is Carroll, no adjustment, so he gets his 2 yards. Second down and 8 for New Mexico, and they are at the 10-yard line now, knocking on the door once again. And New Mexico taking a play-action shot over the top. Passing is not their strong suit, folks. That's going to be a -2, roll of 2, and that's going to be incomplete, possible sack again, and 6 or less. And 18, Hall gets away, but he misfires well over the receiver's reach. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 from the 10. New Mexico up to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 8, and it's going to be a long pass attempt. Texas is lying in wait for that long pass attempt, and that's going to be a -1 off of Texas's call of 3, and that's going to be another incompletion. So 4th down, and New Mexico's quarterback is struggling today, 4th and 10, and they're just going to take the field goal. Does them no good to go for it here. It's going to be a 37-yard attempt. Or I'm sorry, 27-yard attempt. So from 0 to 29, they are 0 to 97. Kick is up and good. And Lobos, after missing a field goal earlier in this game, get their first drive of the fourth quarter up and successful. And we are moving up onto the midway point of the final quarter. Texas up 44-17 over the Lobos. And New Mexico kicks it away at 3D. And that's going to be a goal line result. So Texas, a kickoff return of A and roll of 4. 4A on the kickoff return. That's going to be a 36-yard return. So Texas sets up shop from there, their second drive of the fourth quarter. And 0-3, Texas is actually going to get stuffed here. A number 9 on the roll chart, and that's going to be 3 and out. 3 plays, no yards. So Texas unable to pad their total offense number. This is going to be their second punt, actually their first punt of the game. So New Mexico just trying to keep it respectable, still playing hard, and 3 on the punt. 3B is going to be a 40-yard kick. Going to be down to the 24-yard line, and 3 on the return. New Mexico is a D on punt returns. It's going to be a fair catch there. So Lobos, we are now past the midway point of the fourth quarter as New Mexico starts their second drive of the quarter from their own 24, 1st and 10. And again, looking to see if they can sustain a drive. They need 41 or better, and no siree, Bob. It's going to be a punt situation again. 3 plays, 6 yards, so another 3 and out for the Lobos. And Texas now set to get the ball for the final time in this ball game. A comfortable win. They've got their backups in. They're cruising. And here comes a punt from the Lobos, and 9, New Mexico punting is a C. And that's going to be a potential block, 95, and it is not blocked. They get the kick away, so that's going to be a 40-yarder. And that's down to the Texas 30, and the Longhorns with a punt return rating of D. 5D, no return, so Texas takes over for their final drive of the game on their own 30-yard line. They scored 24 points in the first half. They have scored 20 thus far in the second, and looking for another successful drive, and they indeed sustain yet another drive. So from the 30-yard line, and Texas a roll of 3 on the drive chart. That's going to be 4 plays, 26 yards. So that gets it down to the New Mexico 44-yard line. And our down and distance situation on the roll of 10 for Texas is going to be a 2nd down and 3. So Texas again in great shape. New Mexico 44, and Texas is sticking to the ground game, which has served them well. They have 225 yards just in play-by-play mode thus far. So roll of 31, that's going to be a +2 result for Texas, and +2 roll of 0 is going to be a 5-yard gain. And Ellinger's had a great day running the ball. It's going to be another carry for the Texas quarterback. And that will be a 1st down. So 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Texas looking to put an icing on the cake here. And that's going to be a short pass, one of the few passes Ellinger's had to throw today. Roll of 45. And that's going to be a 0 result, roll of 8 on the short pass. And that's going to be 4 yards, potential sack. So again, Texas's sack is 1-6, and New Mexico is a -3, so it's got to be 3 or less. No 4-yard gain for the Longhorns. Makes it 2nd down and 6 as Ellinger. Not going to probably make 200 yards passing in this game, but their run game has been so dominant they haven't needed to. It's going to be another run play, 65 this time, and New Mexico catches a break. This is coming off their card. A roll of 5 on the -2 column, and that's going to be 3 yards gained and a fumble. So New Mexico, let's see if they can take the ball away from Texas again. And again, Texas's fumble rating is 1-7. New Mexico -1, so 1-6. Ball's on the ground, and Texas scrambles and recovers. So that's going to make it a 3rd and 2 from the 32-yard line. New Mexico stacking the box again. 51 for Texas. And that's going to be a -1 off of New Mexico's card with the adjustment. And roll of 2, that's going to be a 3-yard gain. So Texas able to squeeze out the 1st down there. That makes it 1st and 10. All right, time winding down. Texas at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, and Ellinger late in the game. They're going to get dirty and take a shot. 66 would be a possible penalty. No penalty, but it is going to be a -3 as New Mexico takes offense to them running up the score. -3 on the long pass. Roll of 9 is going to be an incomplete pass for Ellinger. And you see New Mexico's coach on the sideline with his hands up in the air, like, what the hell are you doing? 2nd and 10 for the Longhorns, and they get more conventional back to the ground. They go 62, and that's going to be a -1, though. So, again, coming off of New Mexico's card, and that's going to be a 4-yard gain. So 3rd down and 6 from the 25-yard line. Texas will most definitely settle for a field goal here. And 3rd and 6, they come out with a short pass. Looking to go underneath. Roll of 56 is going to be a -1 off of New Mexico's card. Roll of 5. And New Mexico is going to give up a 10-yard completion, as their pass defense is not exceptional either. So 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Texas now looking to twist the dagger a little bit. And again, taking a shot. Unbelievable. -3, though. Roll of 6 on the long pass chart. And that's going to be that'll be a touchdown strike, 22 yards off of New Mexico's defensive chart, unless there is an interception. So Ellinger, this is our first pick opportunity. Ellinger has a 1-6 interception rating, and New Mexico's adjustment is a +1. So 1-7. Can they pick him off in the end zone? They do not. And that's a touchdown. Ellinger with a 21-yard or 20-yard touchdown strike, his 4th of the game. And the New Mexico's coaching staff is not happy with Texas running up the score. Texas doesn't care. Here in the Big 12, and Mexico, well, soon to be in the SEC, I guess. So New Mexico is not. So 0-3, extra point is up and good. And that makes our score 51-17, the blowout we expected as New Mexico gets their final opportunity. Texas kickoff is going to be a touchback, and this will be our final drive of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Arnold Hunter, thanks for joining us, my friend. Yeah, so far, man, hoping, like I said, testing has gone well, looking to expand it. So very optimistic that we are very close to what we want for a final product right now. As Texas gets set to kick it off, that's going to go down to the 5-yard line, and New Mexico, they will get a chance to return this. And 60, that's going to be out to the 25-yard line, where New Mexico will start their final possession of the afternoon. See if they can sustain a drive. If they cannot, they're just going to punt and get the heck out of here. -3, 41 or more. And 48, New Mexico does indeed sustain a drive. So roll of 3 on the drive chart. That's going to be 6 plays, 39 yards. Down to the Texas 36-yard line. And down a distance situation, roll of 9 on a 10 defense is going to be 2nd down and 7. So not terrible for New Mexico. Manageable situation. And New Mexico looks to run, and roll of 6 on the penalty check. It's going to be a penalty on the Lobos. 33 on the run call is going to be a 0. And our ball carrier is going to be Cole, who is a +1 adjustment. So roll of 5 on the 0. That will be a 7-yard gain and a potential fumble. So we have to resolve that before we decide if Texas wants to take the penalty. And 6 or better, it's going to be no fumble to Texas. So they will definitely take the penalty. And the penalty on New Mexico is going to be a false start. So that backs them up, makes it 2nd down and 12 for the Lobos. And we had quite a few penalties in our last game. And this is our second in this one. So I like the variety we're getting there too. And of course, penalties, part of them are factored into the simulated portions of the drive. As 2nd down, New Mexico looking to run the ball again. They've pretty much got the white flag up. It's going to be a -1 result off of Texas's chart, a roll of 2, 2-yard gain. And that brings up a 3rd and 10 from the 34-yard line. Ball up to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10, and he's going to call a short pass. 54 for New Mexico, that's a -2. And -2 roll. Well, that's a 9-yard gain. So Texas, a hole in their pass defense. They had the opportunity to shut New Mexico down and end it, but that's going to bring up a 4th and 1. And Lobos have to go for it here. They're trying to get a little dignity out of this game. 4th and 1 and expecting a running play. That's what they get. It's going to be a +1 result. So New Mexico firing off the ball, roll of 8. That's a 5-yard gain and a 1st down. So they are not done yet as they get the ball down to the 20-yard line of Texas, 1st and 10. So if nothing, even though they're going against Texas backup, showing a little bit of grit here, a run call, 52. It's going to be a -2 result, and Texas stacking the box, expecting the run, 2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8. Cole brings the Lobos up to the line of scrimmage, and 5 on 2nd and 8. It's going to be a short pass. Roll of 13 is a +2. +2 roll of 9, and that's going to be a big play for the Lobos, so they can close us out with a touchdown possibly. Big play 1 from the 20-yard line, and on the pass play, pretty much anything they get except a fumble result is going to roll of 8. 20-yard touchdown strike, and the Lobos come up big and make it a little bit respectable right at the end. That's going to be the 2nd touchdown pass of the day for Cole to go with 4 for Ellinger. And that'll close it out as New Mexico comes in to kick the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. So the game is going to end. Texas gets the kickoff. It takes a knee to end it. And New Mexico showed a little bit of life in the 4th quarter. Far from enough, though, as your final score, the Texas Longhorns 51 and New Mexico Lobos 24. Let's do our stat wrap-up real quick. Texas wasn't as dominating defensively as I thought. They made New Mexico punt 4 times. They stopped them on downs, had a missed field goal and a pick. But in between, Mexico put some nice drives together. New Mexico finishes on the day. Hold on. Get my final play numbers here. All right. Final yardage and play results. New Mexico, 73 plays, a lot of incompletions in there. 73 plays for 417 yards, so not terrible for the Lobos. And to be fair, Texas, of our elite, I shouldn't say elite, but top-level P5 teams, they probably have the worst individual defense comparing them to Clemson and Alabama at least. So 73 plays for 417 yards for the Lobos, but unfortunately New Mexico's defense is horrific, and Texas exploited them. Texas had to punt once. They turned the ball over on downs once and fumbled one away. Apart from that, it was 7 touchdowns and a field goal with a missed extra point in there. So basically Texas 78 plays for a total of 630 yards. So their offense was prolific and an expected beatdown of the Lobos. So that is the final here from Texas, and appreciate everyone who stopped by. So Arnold, this doesn't have a clock. It's basically just based on drives. So here on the 2 team cards, drives per game. 12 and 11. So you add those together, 23 divided by 2, 11 and a half, round down. So each team basically gets 11 possessions in the game. And then in a close game situation, there is a rule for an alternative extra drive. If one team is behind by 8 points or less, they can get an extra drive to try and score or win. And also, if a team scores on the last drive of the game and cuts the lead to 8 points or less, they can also try an onside kick. And if they recover that, get one more drive. So, yeah, it's basically just drive oriented. I didn't want to have a score sheet, making lots of ticks and whatnot. And so, yeah, this is, again, it's not always going to be perfect doing it this way, depending on how the dice roll. But so far, getting very good results. I think the play results for both teams in this game was very realistic for what was happening offensively. We had 78 plays for Texas, 73 for New Mexico. So certainly within reason. So far, I think it's worked good. And again, it's just one less piece of stat tracking you have to do, and it speeds the game up a little bit. So that's how the timing works. And Matt Steeler fan, how are things looking for your boys Friday night? Actually, very good. Honestly, it's a team. We're going into it with a limited game plan offensively because we want to save a lot of stuff for next week. It's a team we should beat by 2 or 3 touchdowns handily. They're not going to stop our run game. I absolutely guarantee we'll run for at least 350, but I'm expecting 400 plus yards on the ground. And passing, quarterback is erratic, has a good arm, but very, very inaccurate, especially on the deep ball. It looks like punts when he throws. He does have decent feet. So if we don't contain him in the pocket, he could hurt us there, but they're not going to hurt us throwing the ball. Run the ball, we just need to make sure we don't lose leverage on the outside. That's the only way we're going to get hurt there. They're not going to run between tackles on us. And then their left tackle against our right defensive end. Our right defensive end is a 4'5" kid who's very athletic. Their left tackle is very slow-footed. So we're expecting him to have a field day against their left tackle. So if we get them in passing situations, we're going to put a lot of pressure from the edge on them. And that's how it looks. So like I said, it's a game we should win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. If we do not, it will be because we've played a mistake-prone game and given up big plays on special teams, and I just don't see that happening. So that's my prognosis for Friday. We'll see how it turns out. I'll definitely give you an update. But hey, thanks to everyone for stopping by. Appreciate it. RJL518. Check out that great channel. Matt Steeler fan 1930 Days Boxing Dynasty going on Operation Sports. And of course, the golden voice of internet gaming, Al, Red Sox fan. Check out his great channel as well. Our good friend T-Dub, the one-stop source for all boxing, what's blazing in sports. And Arnold Hunter, thank you for stopping by, my friend. And again, thank you for your interest in the game. IDJ plays about everything under the sun on his channel, so check him out as well. Appreciate you all joining, and hit that like button on the way out, guys. Have a good night. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Take care.